The Rugby Top 14 Round 12 preview. The top 14 was left in a tantalising position before we all took a couple of weeks off for the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup. And the French sides return from their trips to Europe and for some South Africa after a pretty good couple of weeks generally. I think only Stade Francais and Perpignan were the only two sides that didn't win either game in those two fixtures. It's been a bit of an opportunity for some sides to regain some form. However, we think this is going to be one of the more straightforward rounds. So let's get into it. La Rochelle and Clermont. Is there a side that's come out of those European rounds better than La Rochelle? They went into it after a home defeat to Vannes. Come out of it with 2 wins against arguably the two best formed sides in England, Bath and then Bristol. So, and as part of that, they kind of came somewhere very close to looking like their regal best. Clermont also burnished their reputation over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, the kind of bonus point win at home to Benetton, they nilled them fine. But not many, and they did come away pointless in Dublin, but not many sides go to Leinster and get that close, at all. They fared a hell of a lot better than a lot of other sides do in the Irish capital. Is this form of theirs here to say? They've definitely kind of developed a bit of a promising story over the last kind of couple of months. Is the fact they're in third actually representative of where they are? Like, are they the real deal in France, in the top 14 and in Europe again? It's hard to know. Be interesting to see what sides they put out. They both went hard at Europe. I don't think Clermont quite know their best pack yet, but they've got a very good pack, whatever team they put out. They've kind of got too many options. Tisserand is definitely their star man at the moment. Outside of that, Yato is still bossing it. Fritz Lee still bossing it. Remarkable how long those guys have been performing at top level. I love Thomas Sate. He's perfect for the top 14. Does everything, works hard. Didn't play last week, so maybe we'll see him. Barnabé Massa, we're both big fans of. Looks like he's starting to kind of make that starting hooker role his. Other than that, they're rotating in the pack a bit, and they can do. They've got such strong options there. However, if La Rochelle pick something close to their first choice pack, no one can really live with them. The way Skelton and Tolu Latu are playing at the moment, Greg Aldrit, looks like that his dropping by Fabien Galtier has had exactly the desired effect that they wanted from it. They're hitting some real form up front. The other elephant in the room is the kind of Clermont away form. They did win their last away game, they're having been disastrous up until that point, and that away game was against a Lyon side at their lowest ebb. And one swallow doesn't make a summer, so we are expecting La Rochelle to win this one because they've got stronger starting lineup and that home form. Stade Francais and Perpignan. Weirdly enough, as I said, the two sides that didn't win a game in the Challenge Cup or Champions Cup come against each other in the next round of the top 14. Neither side would be happy with their performances. Obviously, USAP drew away in Amsterdam against the Cheetahs, a team that doesn't really exist at the highest level, and they lost badly at home to Connacht the next weekend. Stade shot themselves in the foot in both games, well and truly. 3 reds and 2 yellow cards in 2 games is astonishing. But I think me and Rich are both more concerned about USAP than we are about Stade. They haven't quite been able to make Stade Mijoral a fortress, which isn't a good sign. They've got a few injuries. We're not sure how much depth they've got, really. A few Stade do have depth. Like, that's one thing they seem to have. They've kind of stuttered and started a bit over the season, but they have shown some positive signs. They've got a lot of quality in that side still. Yes, they will miss Pacenti, Azago, certainly Makalu over the next few weeks because of those suspensions, but they are in a better place than USAP. And USAP don't travel well. It's a home game for Stade. They should win this one. Montpellier Racing. Now, here we go. Battle of the basket cases, I'm starting to call it. The side that everyone thinks is a shambles travelled to the side that everyone has thought is a shambles for ages. Except Montpellier are showing signs that they aren't quite as shambolic as they were. 2 wins from 2 in the Challenge Cup. Two good wins as well. Only 9 points conceded away at Bordeaux in the last top 14 round, and in their last 2 home games, only 3 points conceded. 3 points in total, which was against Pau. Well done, Pau, but they nilled La Rochelle before that as well. So they're building a really strong defence. I think you can't really question that. As Rich said on the podcast this week, in terms of Racing, as soon as you think they're getting a hard time of it, and they might be a sleeping giant, they get pumped. As soon as you think they are dreadful, they pull something out of the bag. And everyone thinks they're dreadful after their performance in Sale last week. So Rich is backing them this weekend. On a more rational level, Montpellier's pack have been really good. Set piece generally has been really good. 2 areas we've seen Racing struggle at consistently over the last couple of years, really. And as I said, Montpellier's defence has been really good. Racing could get very frustrated by Montpellier, and we've seen their discipline falter. Could see even more cards from Racing, so I am going for Montpellier in that one. Toulon v Pau, yet another team that comes out of the Champions Cup looking pretty rosy. Toulon have kind of come out of it looking like a bit of a dark horse for the tournament, like for the Champions Cup, that is. I've been saying for a while that I think they're a really good side. I don't think we still know quite how good they are. Rich and I both think we both think they possibly don't have the minerals, but actually is that a little bit harsh? They've kind of started to grind out a few results, and ultimately they're unbeaten at home, with, getting over the line at home in a couple of tight games. So maybe they do have the minerals to kind of really pose a challenge to the other big sides in the league. Unfortunately, it pains me to say it, but Pau don't really have the quality to match them. The games in the Challenge Cup have kind of been positive for Pau. Have been able to rest some of their first choice players, some positive performances, getting a little bit of depth into the squad, but they just have so many injuries still from what was already like a squad lacking a little bit of quality in certain places. Probably got the most injuries in the top 14 still, and they just don't have the quality to match Toulon, especially at scrum time, where Pau are traditionally weak. Toulon are traditionally very, very strong over the last couple of years or so, I'd say. That Toulon pack is the real deal this season. They are doing brilliantly, and Pau haven't shown much away from home this year, so not backing them, especially at Felix Mayol. So Toulon to win that one. Van vs Bayonne, 2 sides with a weird couple of weeks. I mean, Van, weird because you've got to go to Tbilisi, but then they hammered Gloucester, but a very weak in Gloucester at home. Bayonne scraped home against Scarlets and then got hammered away at Edinburgh with actually a relatively strong side. So quite an interesting couple of weeks for these two. Quite an interesting matchup generally. Both are strong up front. Bayonne are definitely the better team overall, but they're both kind of forward orientated sides. But Bayonne have got that experience and quality in the halfbacks. Some serious threats out wide. Soreli Mangala is probably the top 14 player of the season so far. With Bayonne, you never quite know what side they're going to send away. You never quite know if they're going to turn up away. They showed last week they definitely haven't dispelled their away day blues. Van are building, let's not forget their last game away at La Rochelle, they won. Their last home game, they dominated Bordeaux for 40 minutes. Yes, they completely lost the plot in the second half, but they were brilliant. They were electric in that first half. Their Kiwis, Ruru, Saili and Rayasi look absolutely dynamite if they get front foot ball. They should be able to get that platform against Bayonne, so we are backing Van in that one. Cass versus Bordeaux, Saturday night game. We reckon this is the game of the round. Cass with their unbeaten home record against everyone's favourite team at the moment, the team on everyone's lips, UBB. Bordeaux cemented their credentials as a proper contender in Europe and in the top 14 over the course of the Champions Cup. 2 bonus point wins. Showed also that within that, if they like the touch paper, they can absolutely blow sides away in the space of 10 minutes. It is quite staggering. Rich loves the fact that they've got that in the locker. 2 very contrasting styles in this game. Cass aren't stodgy, but they play some brilliant rugby, but they are definitely a forward orientated, set piece focused side. Their defence is good. they can fall apart discipline-wise. Their defence can fall apart, but they've got a rock-solid scrum. They've got a brilliant line-out. Their discipline has been pretty woeful at times. Some of the cards they've received this season have been so stupid. Bordeaux, on the other hand, their set piece has started. They do have that electric back line, we know that. Defence has been pretty good over the last few weeks as well. But their set piece has started to show signs of weakness. They've got some phenomenal depth in the back five of that scrum, so they can cope without the loss of Johnny Gray, who's going to be out for a long time, and Pete Sarmi's unavailable in this game. But they just don't have that depth in the front row, and it's starting to show, certainly in scrum time. And also Johnny Gray's been really key for sorting out their line out, which is also starting to wobble at key times in games. We don't think they will be at full noise. We know that Luku, Gazzotti, Louis Bielbiaré have been sent on holiday. We think that we're unlikely to see Deporter. Jalabert is out until mid-January. But ultimately, I think it's the Cass scrum and the Cass line-out that will be dominant. That proud home record will take some overturning. So we think Cass will get the home win. Lyon v Toulouse, the final game of the round, is part of a double-header at Stade de Gerland, Matmut Stadium. Lyon v Toulouse in Elite 1 Feminin. The women's top division will be taking place before the men's game. I think both games are live on TV in France as well, so that's cool. But in terms of the men's game, the game we're interested in, the one that will be on TV in the UK, Lyon did get 2 encouraging results in the Challenge Cup. They got 2 wins, which I don't think we expected either of them, to be honest. But before that, they did lose 5 games in a row in the top 14. Have they been able to use the Challenge Cup to kind of turn around that form? They've brought in Karim Ghazal, a coach with a bit of pedigree, former France and Stade Francais kind of forwards line-out skills coach when those sides were doing really well in those areas. They won't quite be at full strength, I don't think, in this one. They've still got a couple of injuries. Mikel Guillard still is a key player for them. He's still out. But we should see the return of Baptiste Couilloux and Leo Berdo. Both play for France at some point this year. First choice halfbacks. They are so key for Lyon. I kind of don't want to read too much in the Challenge Cup form. I think it's hard to make a read of that. We know Toulouse won't be at full strength. We know that because Ramos, Dupont, Cross, Marchand and Romain Ntamack have all been sent on holiday already. But some of the names confirmed that are returning are pretty phenomenal. And Lyon should be worried. Aki, Jelonch, Malvaca are all expected to return. And we've seen that Toulouse, their C team can really trouble some sides in the top 14. And it looked like Toulouse really hit their groove over the course of those Champions Cup weekends. Since the Autumn Nations series, really. Even if they've got a couple of stars available, which they will do, particularly the return of Peter Aki, he's a real key cog for them. They should be winning this. They've just got too much quality, and the quality of coaching, the way they work together, no matter what side is put out, means that we are both backing Toulouse to get that away win, and not just because I'm wearing a Toulouse Christmas jumper. They're for very, very rational reasons. So it is very home winsy this week, and we've really stuck our neck on the line by putting the best club in Europe, best club in the world, saying that they might win away at second bottom. That's a really big call, that. And other than that, I've gone all home wins. So yeah, it's one of those rounds. But this is French rugby, and this is top 14. You never quite know where there might be a shock. Some of these games should be absolute crackers still as well. Let us know which ones you're excited for. Let us know which of the results you think there might be a shock in. Get in touch, get in the comments, give us a like, give us a subscribe, follow us on all the platforms. We want to hear from you guys. Get in touch.